If I didn't build it myself, I wouldn't believe it. This is Bossk's Hounds, the personal ship owned by one of the most notorious headhunters in the galaxy. A ship I didn't believe I would ever have the opportunity to build because it's kinda niche, but here it is, built from the pieces of the UCS Jabba Sailbarge set 75397. And with that, welcome back to BrickVault everyone. Before we dive in, let me just quickly tell you about our huge sale on BrickVault Toys at the moment. 35% off all instructions during our May the 4th event, so be quick and don't miss it. Link in the description below. You heard right, this ship uses only pieces from the set. The designer bought the set and said, I don't need that. So if you have the set from 2024 laying around, you can now get even more out of the money spent on the set by rebuilding it into this incredible bounty hunter ship. This model was designed by Tommaso Builds, the designer who is also responsible for the Outrider, an alternate build of the UCS Millennium Falcon, which is one of the most popular builds on BrickVault right now. The Houndstooth has several play features, is extremely sturdy and features a full minifig compatible interior. But let's start with the ship itself. The Houndstooth in universe is actually built by the same company that the Millennium Falcon and Outrider come from, called Corellian Engineering Corporation. I don't blame you if you don't recognize it immediately. It was only seen in one Clone Wars episode from season 4 and in some extended universe media, so you probably may have never heard of it or seen it. Yet several of the most infamous bounty hunters in the galaxy were passengers on this ship, including Boba Fett and Asajj Ventress. I gotta admit, the ship design in universe looks super weird. I had a few people ask me if the model is already done or if it's missing something in the bag, and I totally get that. To an unknowing person, this looks like basically a big pile of horse dirt that someone stepped on accidentally. Stepped on accidentally. Yeah, I can say that to thousands of people. The model itself is a little smaller than minifig scale, judging by the looks of it in the Clone Wars, but it's close enough for minifigs to look right next to it and inside of it. The model has 3,612 pieces, and the parts will set you back $0 if you already own the set. And if you don't, I personally bought the set used on eBay for only 150 USD. For the amount of pieces, actually a really good price, and one of the few instances where I don't recommend going to Bricklink to buy the parts separately. The ship is 80 centimeters long or 31.5 inches, 50 centimeters wide or 20 inches roughly, and 26 centimeters tall or a little more than 10 inches. Here are Lego Crocs for size reference that I got from my buddy Lars at Bardobrick, a lovely Lego shop in my area. Now let's talk about all the details and features this model has so you can appreciate the insanity of the existence of this model. You can see, obviously like the Sailbarge, this is almost fully reddish brown as it's supposed to be. Thankfully Lego reworked their plastic so no pieces broke during the construction of this. Starting in the back, the ship has this weird open area that is, per Star Wars commonality, a section for mechanical greebling. We have whisk pieces as detail in here, roller skate parts, mechanical claws, Darth Maul lightsaber parts, and I like these vent kind of things on top. The outside of the bag is nicely covered up with tile and wedge plates that also wrap around the underside here. I'm quite surprised about the level of finish even in this rather unimportant area, and especially having in mind it uses only pieces from the UCS set. These wing thingies are set at that angle with ball joints. The only stuff that's able to move are the wingtips, and these are able to rotate into landing position as we see in the show, and they lock into place like that as well, which is a cool added bonus. On the back wall are the thrusters, which seem comically small compared to what we see on ships like the Tantive 4 or Consular Cruiser. I like the curvature created here, also rounding it up with tube pieces. Tons of small details on the panels with grill pieces and wedge tiles. I like that there are some smaller patches of dark brown, tan and medium nougat distributed all throughout. Breaks up the monotony of an otherwise pretty bland brown ship. I also like the curvature here in the front, lined up with the wedge plates beautifully and was cool to put together like that. At the bottom is what I would call a step, because it reminds me a lot of what trucks have to climb into their driver's cabin more easily. It's also kind of fitting here because this ship was intended to be a freighter before it got repurposed as a bounty hunter ship, so this really is just a sci-fi truck. At the top is the driver's cabin, so to speak. It's a bit elevated from the rest, has some interesting angles to it, and the front windscreen was done really nicely with the parts available, I'd say. The question now is how a minifig would be able to climb up here and what the interior of this even looks like, so Let's approach this chronologically. First, you enter the ship down here. There's a ramp here that opens up so you can walk right in. Here you can see the first details. A blue button, some lights at the ceiling. This is technically the first room. In the second room appears a cabinet that can open up. There's nothing in here though. We have a tool up at the wall too with this claw piece. In this room there's already so much going on. We'll come to this section here to the left in just a minute. We have some containers and a chest here. There are some pearl pieces in here, maybe the bounty for one of the headhunts. We have a chain here as well, some tools on the wall and a fish and a bone. There's a ladder going up here that I will come to in a minute too. The walkway leads to the next room, which is basically the kitchen and has a prison cell as well. Between this and the previous room we even have a sliding door here for some privacy. I love play features like these. On the walls are quite a few weapons as you can see. This is a bounty hunter ship after all, so this makes sense. There are also torches on the walls for light. There's a table in the middle with drawers that open up and a bottle on top. In the back there's another cabinet that you can open with a cup on it. Notice the studs on the floor to post minifigs on. Those are placed all throughout the interior. To the right we have the prison cell with a broom and some handcuffs next to it. The cell can be opened up to reveal a chair, a bone, some water on the floor, or at least I hope it's water, and the former inmate crossed off the days that they've been held in here. But now coming back into the other room, we can climb up the ladder to get to the next room. There are doors on the floor here that you need to open to access it, and going through this simulated door that cannot actually open up, we get to this hangar space. You can also access it from the top here. This houses a small starfighter build. This looks like a cross between an X-Wing and a Z95 Headhunter, or maybe one of those early concepts of the Z95. I mean, it's called Headhunter, I think that makes sense. In this room we also have details like some hoses and especially this hose on the floor that goes to the simulated fuel container. And when the ship is parked in here it looks like it's refueling, which is such a cool touch. There are also some technical components in the back that Bossk can work on. Going back down to the before promised section to the left, this is actually a working elevator, which is like the coolest thing ever. It uses a rubber piece that forces a piece into the gears on the back wall. I would call it luck that that piece is included in the set for the designer to use, but it's probably more skill than anything to see this and knowing what to do with it. There's a number pad next to it, and this elevator can technically stop at this level that you can also reach with a ladder, but the primary use is to go up to the cockpit. That can be folded up. There's a prop rod to prop open the cockpit here, and inside again details like the hallway, which looks very Star Warsy. I would like to think this is the handle to go into hyperspace here, with the indicator below it to confirm the speed maybe. The cockpit itself has two swiveling seats with a ton of controls in the front. Makes good use of the stickers included in the set. And of course Bossk can sit right here and look out the windscreen here. And here's a final look at all the panels opened. There's so much interior space here, it's absolutely crazy. This feels like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. I didn't expect this much detail in here at all when I first got the pics from Tommaso. Let's count the rooms. 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, 5, 6, 7. 7 rooms in this ship. In this alternate build of an official LEGO set that has like, I don't know, 3 or 4 rooms. This MOC has more rooms than your average modular building. Obviously I review these builds so you can see how buildable they are and show you all the details because we want to sell the instructions of course. I try to be objective nonetheless, but I have to be cautious not talking down on designers' work, which is pretty easy to do in my case because I get to pick what models I like for BrickVault. So naturally I like what we sell, but taking off the BrickVault sales glasses for a moment, to be completely honest with you, this is the best alternate model of a set I have ever seen. I'm not sure if I even like it better than the Outrider. This has gotta be the best alternate model out there in general maybe. Yeah, of course the ship is pretty niche and all, but how is it possible that Tommaso was able to make this, I'd say, at least 10 times better than the official UCS set that it uses the pieces of? I really can't comprehend that, and it's a totally different skill set you need to have to work with the restrictions of this specific set of parts and still pull this off. Respect to Tommaso for that. Now, before I put my BrickVault sales glasses back on, an honest look at the stability of this model. It's resting on 2 black stands that are built into the model, it's very sturdy on these. The handling is very intuitive, I just pick it up from beneath and it feels very robust and sturdy, obviously super swooshable as well. It could very easily be an official LEGO set, I'm not kidding. Obviously we would never get this as a UCS set, the more happy I am we get a chance to have this here thanks to Tommaso. The only issues I have is that this top flap is connected only with a couple of studs to the hinge plates, so constant opening and closing can loosen the connection over time. And in the back these wings are a bit too heavy for the axle connections here, so they want to separate very slowly over time. I catch myself pushing them back in from time to time. Also, not something to forget, sure, taking apart a set of that piece count is not for the faint of heart. If you have the Sailbarge at home, it's a little tedious to do. But basically that's it. Sail's glass is still off, keep that in mind. Now here's a quick look at all the leftover parts. Not a whole lot, this model makes good use of the pieces included in the set. And now Sail's glass is back on. If you want to build this model yourself, you can get the instructions on BrickVault Toys. They are currently discounted 35% because we have a huge May 4th sale going on right now. So make sure to be quick to save quite a bit on those instructions and check out all the other stuff we have. Thanks everyone for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed and consider subscribing to not miss out on future releases. And I'll catch you guys in the next one at BrickVault.